One of the other important things that we can do with the numbers we just learned is express the time in Spanish. And so we're going to discuss in this section how to tell time. Repita, por favor. ¿Qué hora es? This is a question. Estamos en la página 17 en el libro de texto. ¿Qué hora es? That means, what hour is it? And we say in English, what time is it? ¿Qué hora es? Your response is going to include several different parts in the answer. Most frequently, your response is going to begin with the phrase son las. Son las. Repita, por favor. Son las. Muy bien. In 11 out of 12 hours, your response is going to be son las because son is the plural form of the verb ser, which means any number 2 through 12 is going to be son las. The only exception is if the time is in the 1 o'clock range, then you're going to respond es la. So anytime that the time is 1 o'clock or 1:30, then you respond es la. So, repita por favor, son las or es la. Muy bien. This is the first part of your answer to the question, ¿qué hora es? What time is it? Son las or es la. The second part of the answer is the number. What time is it? So, the son las refers to any time that is a plural number, any time 2 through 12. So let's say it's 2 o'clock. Son las dos. Fácil. That's easy, right? Fácil. Anytime it's in the 1 o'clock range, because we're referring to the hora, and the hora is a feminine word, we're going to use the feminine version of 1, which is una. Es la una. This phrase means it's 1 o'clock. Son las dos means it's 2 o'clock. So this is the first part of your answer. Now, the second part is going to be if it's 2 and so many minutes, or 1 and so many minutes. So most often when someone asks you, ¿qué hora es?, it doesn't fall directly on an hour. It's usually 2:30 or 2:25. Whatever the time is, we need to be able to say that. So we have a couple of prescribed times. Like in English, we say quarter after or 2:30, for example. The phrase y cuarto means and a quarter. So, 2:15 means 2:15. The whole phrase would be son las 2:15, 2:15. This phrase is important, y cuarto. The next one is, let's say we want to express the time 1:30, la hora 1:30. ¿Qué hora es? Es la 1:30. Now you've probably noticed the repeat of this word, y. E in Spanish, just a Y by itself, means and. So what we're saying is it's 2 and a quarter. In this case, we're saying it's 2 and media actually means half. So we say half past the hour sometimes. That's how you express that. Es la 1:30. It's 1 and a half, or 1:30. Okay, so we're going to discuss how to express time using numbers in addition to y cuarto, which means and a quarter, or y media, which means and a half. So if, por ejemplo, we had the time 2:23, then I would say, ¿cómo se dice? How would you write that out in Spanish? 2:23. Remember, the question is, ¿qué hora es? And the first part of your response is almost always going to be son las, unless you happen to be in the 1 o'clock range. and then your response is going to be es la. So let's write this one out. It's 2:23. Son las 2:23. It's simply writing out those numbers that we just learned. Son las 2:23. In this case, es la una. Remember una because we're referring to the hora. Es la 1:16. Now remember again, when you're writing those numbers out, if the word that you added was only one syllable long, you are going to be required to add an accent to it. That's why 23 has an accent and 16 has an accent. So, we've covered two parts of your response to the question, ¿Qué hora es? What time is it? Son las or es la. That's the first part. Now, the number or the actual time is the second part. Now, ahora, we have to discuss the time of day. So often you'll hear somebody respond, well, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or it's 2 o'clock p.m. That's called the parte del día, or the part of the day, the time of the day that you respond. So if we say, por ejemplo, that this is in the p.m. range, or the afternoon range, then we want to add the phrase de la tarde. Now, if you'll remember from your greetings, we had buenas tardes, which was the greeting that you used in the afternoon, good afternoon. Because tarde means afternoon, when you want to express the time, la hora, you say son las 2:23 de la tarde. This literally translates of the afternoon. Now, if you want to say the morning, a.m., it's 1:16 a.m. Then that becomes es la 1:16 de la, the word for morning is mañana. Repita, mañana. Muy bien. Mañana has two meanings in Spanish. One is morning and one is tomorrow. So we have to rely on the context to know which one it means. In this context, it's clear that we're talking about a time of the morning. De la mañana. Now our last option for a time of day is going to be sometime in the evening. And if you'll remember your evening greeting, we had buenos días, buenas tardes, and later in the evening we said buenas noches. Noche means night. So if you're greeting or you're expressing the time in the night, por ejemplo, 9 at night, then you would say son las 9:08 de la, any guesses? Noche, night. Muy bien. So, la pregunta es, ¿qué hora es? The question is, what time is it? You have a three-part response. The first part, son las or es la. This is basically how we say it's. It's 2 o'clock or it's 1 o'clock. Son las. The second part is the actual time, the number. 2:23 or 1:16. The third part of your response is the parte del día, the time of the day or the part of the day. We have the morning, de la mañana, the afternoon, de la tarde, or the evening, de la noche.